And good evening. It is Monday night. What is this? This is October 25th, 2021, and this is the EriDan Film Festival. You may notice not so much Dan, more of the era. Dan is on assignment and will hopefully be joining us later to talk about Notting Hill. And since I don't want to be alone, I'm going to bring in some people, and then we'll talk about how you can join us to talk about movies. And so we're going to bring in some people. I think we're going to start with Stacey and Wade. Stacey and maybe Wade. We're so glad you could join us tonight.
I meant to change that once he showed up.
He was unsure. Were you off at Notting Hill? Or were you nodding off?
No, he was writing a paper. He's
Well,
reading tomorrow.
You got to have priorities, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
tomorrow, and I haven't written anything yet. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, it'll wait.
I got
It'll wait.
Yeah, I got about 12 hours.
12 hours. You know how much you can get done in 12 hours?
Yeah. I
could watch Notting Hill 6 more times. So we're going to bring in Cody, who is now, this is his 6th visit with us.
Wow.
And so he, a fellow podcaster, massive sports podcast going on there. So let's bring in Cody. It is Cody.
I wasn't ready for all that. That was awesome.
Well, I'm glad. You gotta, now that you're part of it, you had to have your own intro. So we're glad that you could be with us.
Heck yeah.
To talk about this movie. All right, we got even more people to bring in. Let's bring in Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Hey, you love Ken.
I love Ken.
That works.
If you don't get the reference, you weren't watching the movie closely enough.
Guess not.
Guess not. We'll have to figure out what that is. I bet you maybe Reagan knows. Let's find out.
To infinity and beyond.
All right, and there's Reagan. How are you, Reagan?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. And so I want to let people know that they can join us if they've never been part of this show. There it is. There's the little thing I'm looking for. You can join us at eridanlive.com. We're going to be talking about Notting Hill tonight, but we will also be choosing a double feature for next week.
Oh, that's scary.
No, so close. We were just talking about this before we went on. There are only 10 episodes left before the end of the year.
Wow.
So we are very close. It's almost Christmas. Well, we only have 5 episodes left until we have to start watching Christmas.
I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming.
Oh, so we're starting with the Grinch.
So, I think that's reasonable. We had a Christmas wheel. I'm going to have to do some digging because that was quite a while.
Christmas movies. We watched Mixed Nuts. What else did we watch?
Mixed Nuts. We watched Mixed Nuts. We watched Elf, which did very well.
Yes,
everything else didn't do so
National
well.
Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We watched Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa.
That's right.
Christmas at Pee-wee's.
And the Santa Claus.
And the Santa Claus, yes.
So you didn't watch A Christmas Story yet?
No, it's on the wheel. It's on the Christmas wheel. I'm going to have to dig that out. But for tonight, we're not going to dig that out. We're going to talk about Notting Hill, which is Stacey's pick. 1999, PG-13. Can the most famous film star in the world fall for just an ordinary guy? Julia Roberts, Hugh Grant. This movie, 42 million worldwide gross of $363 million, did quite well. Critics gave it an 83. The audience, 79. And so, Stacey, you put this on the wheel like
a year ago,
20 years ago. Yeah, I was gonna say.
a long time ago.
So, but obviously, I'm assuming you did so because you like said movie.
Oh yeah.
And I honestly, I mean, because I like a rom com, but I had never seen this movie before.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a first viewing for me. It was yeah, and I did not hate it as much as I thought I was going to.
Okay, I'm glad. I think
know.
that has a lot to do with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant. I think they have star power and or
Two
they
rom-com
did.
staples.
Yeah, especially.
And this is Hugh Grant is one of those ones where I am convinced I'm not gonna like what I'm seeing, and then I'm like, hey, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel that way about Adam Sandler sometimes.
Yes.
Yep.
He's a
You know?
good actor, but like I like his serious stuff a lot
Yeah.
more than his
You
comedy.
don't like his over-the-top, slapsticky
yeah.
Rob Snyder movies?
Rob Schneider is
Listen, he was in Koala Kid though. He has a good Australian accent. Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
And we've already determined that
Australia,
Reagan
but
is
not
the
Olivia
absolute
Newton-John.
connoisseur of fine Australian.
Oh yes,
It's-
absolutely. So was this anybody else's first time, or am I the only one who? Cody.
I didn't even know this movie existed. I had no idea anything about this movie.
Really?
At all. Nothing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this movie in my life. And my mom was like big into rom-coms when I was growing up, and like in the 1999, I was about like 7, so I'm surprised I hadn't heard of this.
What's funny is that like I'm with you where I really didn't know anything going into it until we got to the line where she says that she's just a girl standing in front of a boy. And I'm like,
Very famous
that's
line.
that's what this is from. What is Reagan's got her?
It's sort of like "You Complete Me." You know, there's certain
It
lines.
is. It's like that, right?
I still didn't know that line though.
Oh, really?
No.
Let's see.
Really? That's interesting. So you had missed all these fabulous means, such as don't forget I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to get a grande chai latte, 3 pumps, skim milk, light water, foam, and extra hot. Or this one, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. Oh wait, that's a mirror. I really need to go to the gym. Or I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy waiting for him to hand over delivery bags. Or my personal favorite. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, blocking his path on purpose, making him squeeze past me in a display of dominance.
Wow.
I knew when she said it, I'm like, really? They're using that cheesy line, and I went, oh, this is where it's from. I had forgotten because it's been so long, and it's everywhere all the time. I'm like, oh, this is the original. Okay, we're good. So.
Yeah, there's the entire subgenre of Hugh Grant rom-coms. I mean, whether it's music and lyrics, whether it's the Englishman who went up the hill and came down a mountain.
So good.
There's
Which I've never
Weddings
seen.
and a Funeral. There's Bridget Jones' Diary. He was
This
just
is-
all
I think
over
this is
rom-coms
the only
for a
movie
couple
I've ever
decades
seen him
there.
in.
What?
I didn't know
Never
who
seen
he
4
was.
weddings and a funeral or anything?
Nope.
Wow.
4 weddings and a funeral is like, eh. But
Well,
the other ones are good.
it's a little different, but it's still a very good movie.
I really
But I
enjoy
don't like
music
Landon
and lyrics.
Vidal that much, though. And I think
Oh,
she's
really?
in that.
What about in Groundhog Day?
Loud.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Well, she's just she's okay, but I don't.
Yeah,
I never got the big deal about her in romantic comedies. That was all. So, and even Julia Roberts watching this yesterday, I'm like, but she was a big star at the time.
So who would be your ultimate female romantic comedy lead then? The Meg Ryan or who would?
You know what, Dave? I'm not even really sure because it's just one of those things I don't even think about anymore. But watching it, I was like,
Jennifer Aniston.
so
I'm thinking for me, Emma Thompson would be good.
Yeah.
A little older generation, but definitely good.
Well,
Yeah.
they're all older now. That's the thing.
I realize, but she's still a generation ahead
how
of
time works.
Julia Roberts. I think.
That's Is she really?
What?
Is she a generation ahead of Julia Roberts?
I'd have to look, but that's my impression.
My vote is
Which might
still
be
Jennifer Aniston.
Adam said this was his first time watching and his last time
And I
watching
assume,
this.
you know what? Adam
Oh, Adam.
plunges through and watches.
I do have, I have respect for Adam. He knows he hates rom-coms, and he still
he's like,
watches
"Let's
it, which
do
I
it."
give him credit for.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I really like at the beginning of this movie, I was really unsure, and I know the first song is Elvis Costello, but I felt like all the music choices in this were very forced and very spot on,
Yeah.
like so spot on. Like, it's like, well, she left and it's raining. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's like, come on, seriously, how spot on do we have to make every song?
The
Be like-
seasonal The seasonal montage, however, was very well done.
That was my favorite.
I enjoyed that, but it felt out of place. It felt like,
Yeah, I agree.
like from a different movie.
It was
But it was extremely well done. I see what you're saying, but it was very skillfully done.
It really
I thought
was.
so too,
And
Dave.
in an art film, I would have been like, "Oh, that's really impressive." But it's like me and my art films.
Yeah, I know how much you're into art films.
You know, the pirate movie is.
Yes. Oh yeah, Sergeant Pepper's.
The piece de resistance. Yes, but you know, it was cool. It was really cool, and the pregnant lady, and then
Baby.
eventually that was cool. That was really well done. Adam asks, "Where is Dan?" Dan is currently on assignment. Dan is he's on another call at the moment, but he is in the chat. So he is. He says he's sort of here. It's
the Dan bot.
Is the Dan bot. So Dan is going to join in as soon as he's able. But I do have his score if he's unable to join by the time we're scoring. But,
Can I just say that Spike is like my spirit animal?
He is an animal.
Listen. The whole part of him when he opened the door and like started like, and then he went and looked at himself in the mirror. I was like, that's me every morning.
Yeah, I do say though, this is the second movie in a row where we got to watch people in underwear, but I think last week's was sort of more interesting in some ways.
Yeah.
This was, I say, at first it was like the music was bothering me, and I'm like, the narration at the beginning, it's like, I don't know. And then it's just charming, you know.
The narration at the beginning is where I Love Ken comes from.
Where does the I Love Ken?
All of us are like, huh?
It's the guy who got the tattoo of I Love Ken and doesn't remember why.
Oh, that's right. You know, and I like the fact that intro ties in where they talk about his friend who was an architect who sold everything he had and bought the restaurant, and then later, you know, in like the third act, they're in the restaurant, you know, and they're talking about it failing. And
one of the things that can make or break a rom-com is the supporting cast.
Yes.
Do you like the friends that are almost always there around one or both of the main characters?
Right.
And that worked in this movie. That was one of the things
that does work very well.
Yeah.
See, I would have liked to have gotten more background on his sister.
The blonde?
No.
That's his sister. The blonde is his sister.
The sort of redheaded,
wheelchair's the
spiky
friend.
one. Yeah.
The wheelchair girl is his friend, and he was in love with her and wanted to marry her, but she married his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but who's the redhead girl? With
His
the
sister.
That's his younger
Okay,
sister.
yeah, I wanted more background on her.
You want more?
Well, that's what we asked.
Yeah.
The one who paired up with Spike.
Yeah, she was on The Vicar of Dibley.
I thought I enjoyed her. I mean, I like the fact that like some people were cool about the Julia Roberts celebrity thing, and then some people were clearly not cool about, you know, and it's like
I'd walk into the bathroom with a celebrity.
It felt honest. It felt pretty honest about that, you know, about how some people would react and how some people would overreact. You know, and
or underreact then overreact.
Birthday party.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you truly believe a relationship like that would work out?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot. That seems like a lot.
He's getting out of the car at the end when they're going to the award show, and he's like,
right?
the
I was
car,
like, he's gone.
oh my God, where am I?
Yeah.
It's
I
not
think
gonna
a
be-
relationship
And this
like
entire
that would
massive
work.
room full of people, and he raises his hand and is instantly called on.
I know, right?
It was the pink shirt. It was the
that
pink
I've never
shirt.
seen before with no press
It looks
credentials.
familiar.
Wait, listen, I love how like there are pictures of him on the internet in the same like building as her in his pajamas, and she was in her pajamas.
They knew
People
his
were
name.
Like, who's that guy? Raising his hand, asking a question.
They knew his
No,
name.
I don't recognize him with clothes on.
Yeah, there's some logicals. There's no
And
question.
why would he let her
There's
open the door? I don't know, man. That was
There's,
crazy.
That's
there's
what I
some
said, I was
rom-com
like-
shortcuts, as they say.
Yes. Yeah, it's not perfect. I won't say it's not, you know, but I said I did think it was really enjoyable. You know, it's just it's cute. It's a cute movie.
I want to take my friend who is physically disabled and see if getting into places works when you say he's with me. I'm writing a paper or whatever. I'm writing
An article.
an article on how
How
people
they
treat
know.
people in a wheelchair.
That's a good line. It's a good line. Yeah.
I go
Horse
to
and
the
Hound,
lawyer.
you know. Makes me want to subscribe to Horse and Hound.
Yeah.
I wonder if they saw a bump in sales after this
If
movie
it's a real magazine.
from hardcore. I'm gonna have to.
That's funny.
That's a very good point. Let me see. Horace
I got to
and
sign it if it
Hound,
was real.
I think it is.
I think it
magazine.
is. But he's looking to see if it's in about sales.
I'll have to ask my polo playing friends.
Well, they're not very far
Oh,
away.
here
They're
we
only
go.
in Darlington.
I know.
Horse and Hound is the oldest equestrian magazine of the United Kingdom. Its first edition was posted in 1884.
Wow.
Posted, I should say, published.
You know what?
Published in
I was gonna say,
1884.
they mail it in the post.
No, it was published in
Wow,
1884.
And the sequence where he got pulled into having to interview the other people on her science fiction movie,
That
totally
was fun.
clueless. It was sort of rom-com forced, but it was still fun.
It was fun. It was fun. But you're right. It was a little bit much. But, it was because you just leave. Just
But
leave.
like
Yeah,
most rom-coms, you
just
have
like-
to just take the coincidences with, just ignore them because they're going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, but a nice storyline and nothing outside of sort of regular relations. There was no there was no nuclear bomb that they had to be diffused.
Yeah.
There was
No,
no
Michael Bay had directed it.
crazy extenuating circumstances that made it it was just real. It was their relationships and it was emotion and it was overreacting and so I did enjoy that.
It did have the sort of typical rom-com: when he's ready, she's not; when she's ready, he's not.
Yeah.
That back and forth.
Right.
When Harry Met Sally had some of the same thing. It's the that's a pretty common, but handled well, it can still be very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I actually stopped watching. I think after probably late 90s, there was so many rom-coms coming out.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of over it at that. I think I was married already.
Yeah.
Like,
So
all
you
right,
didn't have to
I don't
go
want to
away.
watch these
So
anymore.
life is now a rom-com.
Exactly, right? That I'm like, all right, I've got this down. So I mean, I know I stopped, and so I missed a lot of movies like this.
Well, there was just an article I read that just came up on my phone about it was 25 movies they could never make today, and some of it was what you'd expect, which is a subject matter, things like that. But a lot of them were just the fact that you'd never a movie is listed. One of the movies was one of the examples because rom-coms never get this kind of budget anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you get two huge stars making many, many millions of dollars because this just star power alone doesn't put people in seats anymore the way it used to.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, since Geely, you're not going to get this kind of movie anymore.
Oh, Geely.
Geely. It's either that or Glitter. It's going to be one of those.
No, please don't. No. Geely is not actually a terrible movie. It was just massively overhyped and came so far short of its expectations. But Glitter, ugh.
I've never seen either one, actually. Adam Scherr's rom-coms are way too cliche and formulaic. It's one of his biggest issues with them. So,
And I agree because watching it, I'm like, oh, you know what's coming. And even Reagan said that when she was watching it, she texted me and said, I know what's they're gonna say. I know what they're gonna, and you do.
But
But I like this one for whatever reason. I think British. I love British stuff. It's it reminds me of the stuff in the 80s, except it was cleaner than the stuff in the 80s,
Yes.
like Pretty in Pink and all of that I loved. I still get that feeling for that, even though I'm way past. I used to read romance novels and stuff, and now I'm like, I don't. I don't do that anymore.
She's married. She's over it. She's like,
That's why she married a Fabio lookalike.
And that's just since I started working at the library, I started getting past, and even before that, I guess, Danielle Steele and all that. So, and this is not even close to Danielle Steele. It's that teenage girl brain thinking, oh, this would be so cool if I met that star, and it's stuff like that girls sometimes think about. Not Reagan, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Never was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall in love with a celebrity.
She is my mother's granddaughter, not his mother's granddaughter. Let's put it that way.
Hello, Reagan. What if you met Chuck just hanging out?
I'd be like, dude, let's
just
put on
totally
the
hang with
Shazam
him.
suits. Let's do it. Oh my stars. He'd be so
Oh
excited.
my stars! Whoopsie daisy.
Exactly. So that's why I like it. And it's one that when I see it, I told Wade, I said, I have to dig the DVD out. Can't find the DVD. I think I had it so long it was never unwrapped. I think I donated it to the library's last book sale.
Yeah, Mom, we don't have that
we
one.
probably had it on videotape, probably.
No, we did.
Yeah.
We did have it on VHS originally, and I got rid of it because you have to. But luckily it was on Peacock because I thought, I don't want to go over to the library and grab that. But
All the way over to the library.
all the way 2 miles away.
2 miles.
Yeah.
So hear that, Adam? She wouldn't even drive 2 miles to go get the DVD.
I was tired that day. I was
I'm
tired
tired every
yesterday
day, so you're doing better than me.
because I worked all day and then we had a party.
Oh, the party.
So anyway,
My fault.
it's
Yeah.
No, there you go.
but it was
All right,
good.
Dan says he saw this in the theater, probably in New Orleans when he first moved there. 25 years later, Dan's math isn't so good. I didn't remember much. Adam is right in the formula. I think it worked in this one.
Yeah, I mean, formula. If all it has is the formula, it's garbage. But if you have because even formula can have good or bad writing. Even formula can have good or bad performances, or good or bad chemistry between the stars. So
it's very true. Watch Alien Resurrection if you need to be sure about that.
I think that the Julia Roberts Hugh Grant thing, I think back 22 years ago, it was better in my brain than it was this time. And at one point I even said, oh, he's getting cringy. I didn't think that then, and I haven't thought it in the 3 or 4 other times I've like, oh, it's on and watched it. But now that I'm older, I was definitely thinking, oh, cringe. But it is the characters surrounding them, his friends. Lord Grantham from Downton Abbey was the doofy friend who didn't know who she was. What do you do for a living? I'm in films. How much did you make on your last one? 15 million. So, I love that part.
He's like,
that whole dinner scene.
Yeah,
that whole dinner scene is just gold.
And when they yell when they walk out the door.
Yeah,
He's like they do that every time.
I love
They
that.
do that every time I leave. That's at that dinner scene. It was after that. I'm like, this is awesome. This is super
Exactly.
cool,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the game for the last brownie.
Yes. There were literally just enough parts that weren't like in a formula of a typical rom-com that kept it entertaining and engaging and funny.
Yeah.
That I think is what made the movie, in my opinion.
Plus, it was early enough in Hugh Grant's rom-com career that he hadn't sort of done that character to death yet. He was still he plays that sort of awkward, but he plays it well. But he's played that role so many times. But this was pretty early.
Well, Hugh Grant you get Hugh Grant when you bring Hugh Grant in, right?
Oh,
You're not going to get a wildly different performance.
No,
like,
no,
oh, wow,
no,
now I thought he was a street thug. I had no idea.
Well, you know what? That's interesting because I wondered where he'd been because he hasn't done anything for a long time. And he is now in some psycho thriller thing, but I'm not sure exactly what it is, and I probably won't watch it. And now he's older, he's gray. He looks like your typical British guy doing a cop show or something in the pictures that I saw.
Yeah.
Didn't he want to leave so he could have his own art content or something?
Well, he also had a bit of a career downturn because of some personal things. So
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those big feet.
Just don't do that.
But he does have yeah.
That was the worst
shoes.
part of the movie. Why'd you
Big
do that?
They wear big shoes.
Yeah.
22 years though. I mean,
I sell shoes.
there
Come
you
get
go. There's
some.
that sort of a
See,
more
look at him. He still looks good.
Oh yeah, he does.
Very wrinkly.
It looks like a
Very
British guy
wrinkly.
doing a cop
a
show.
little wrinkly.
If
But
he
I don't
wasn't
think it's
wrinkly,
a
it would
cop
be
show.
weird. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he should totally be on The Crown.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
He might be.
he is only slightly older than me.
How old is he?
He was born in '60.
Only slightly older than Wade, too.
Yeah.
Just a few years.
Same.
Yeah.
No.
I believe he's older than Reagan too. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Crazy.
He's
Maybe
the,
he
uh,
came out the year I was born.
He's also done a lot of smaller roles in movies, like he was in the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie, things like that, where he takes on a relatively small role.
All right. Well, I think it's time. I think it's time for us to. We have no freaky facts because we have no freaky Dan. So instead, we will rate the movie.
The EriDan rating bot 6,000. EriDan rating 6,000. EriDan now activated.
All right. Well, Stacy, since you brought us this lovely film back in 2020, you got to go first.
Okay. My score is based on the first time I watched it. So, and I still enjoy it just as much, but just a little differently. You know, being 52, it's a little like, oh yeah, that's not real. But I still love it. I still like that I got that feeling that I did when I watched it. Like, oh, it's so sweet. I like that. So I'm giving it a 91.
Nice. Excellent. Very respectful. Wade?
You know, I do like the movie, and I'll stop and watch it if it's on.
But no planes, no
There's
helicopters.
no planes in it, so that's right away. 10
There's a
points off the
spaceship.
top right there. That's right, Dave. I was a spaceship, and she was wearing like a space outfit. So
A sexy space outfit, maybe.
But then they bring in Alec Baldwin, so man.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it when he appeared. I forgot about him, and I went, "Oh my gosh!"
But he played a sleeve. So,
Yeah. He was made for that part.
Nice.
We're not big fans of him anyway, but
yeah, but I feel bad for him these days.
It was probably his best
Well,
acting
you
job,
just wait.
actually. I think
no, Hunt for Red October
he was
okay.
He was good in Hunt for Red October, but you know.
Glenn Ross. He's had some good movies.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got a number for us, Wade?
Oh, 85. So.
85.
We lost it.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. And I apologize. I'm not making people
Okay.
because I've got too much. I'm multitasking too much. Dave, let's jump over to you and see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, it is not a great romantic comedy, but it's an above average romantic comedy with engage. You know, I completely agree with Adam. It's very formulaic, but with engaging stars, with good supporting roles, relatively good writing, some very nice cinematography in some of the scenes. So you know, it's no When Harry Met Sally, but it's an 80.
It's an 80. All right. All right. Let's go to Cody.
I like this movie more than I thought I was going to. And when I first started watching it, I was like, oh no. And I was like, I'm gonna get my first score like below a 60. And then as I watched it and I saw the actually I don't think I've rated anything under like an 80 yet.
No, you've been very generous. Your lowest score actually did give us 79.
79.
Yeah, that's the lowest as you've gone for forget what that. I think it was Greece.
Yeah, he wasn't here for Howard.
It was Greece. It was Greece.
It was Greece. Yeah.
The things that I mentioned, like the side humor moments, the guy checking himself out, and the freaking Spike killed me. And so like, I don't think it's because of the movie alone. I think it's because of all the little pieces, that dinner scene, the little comments here and there that made the movie enjoyable to me.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. A man going through a divorce right now, watching this movie by myself felt really hard. So it sucked to watch it. I'm sitting here like, man, I wish there was somebody here. But no, the movie was really good. It was really well done.
Where's my Julia Roberts?
I loved the scene that I think, kind of as weird as it is, that bumped me up a little bit, just because of the cinematography of it all, was whenever they broke up or whatever and walking through and the seasons changed. That was really, really, really well done, and I really enjoyed that scene. I give this an 83. I would rather watch this than Grease.
Yeah,
agree.
That's fair. Dan is in the comments. Dan says he liked it, and it's an A-. So he 91.
I thought he was gonna give a number. I was like, dude, this is your show.
I know. He's got to give a number. He knows that. Reagan.
Well, I don't know. I just don't like rom-coms, and I thought that I was going to hate it a lot because, you know, there is the basic formula, which is really irritating to me, and and I don't fall for that stuff in real life. Guys talk to me, and I'm like, you need to leave. Like they're just, I have many ways of getting people away from me. I have all the lines now, so I'm used to that kind of stuff. And I was really expecting that Hugh Grant would be somebody that I would feel that way towards for Julia Roberts. For her, I'd be like, get him out of here, girl. Like that's usually how I feel watching rom-coms. So, but I did not feel that at all, which is really funny. I mean, I agree with Cody. I think there were like small parts that made it funny and made you like it, like kept you watching instead of just like the whole sappy everything. And it was really predictable. Like the word indefinitely flew out of my mouth before it flew out of her mouth. Like I was ready for it. I was like, indefinitely. And then she said it on the TV and I was washing my dishes like, boo. That's what happened. I was like, so, but yeah, I also, I watched it with one of my friends and I didn't know that she had a boyfriend because Alec Baldwin came on the screen and I didn't process the whole conversation, 2 seconds before. And whenever he came on and Hugh Grant kind of realized that, she had a boyfriend, I didn't think that at all because the second that I saw him on the screen, I looked at my friend and I said, hey, he got somebody. Like he killed somebody yesterday. So that's what I got from that part. And I didn't know that he had a boyfriend or that she had a boyfriend until my friend who watched it actually reminded me of it the next day. So I missed that part.
Wow,
too many dishes to be washed. You were.
I didn't. Yeah, I guess that's just what I thought.
I thought you did a better acting job than that.
Yeah, it was sweet. I thought that it was sweet, and I liked Hugh Grant's character, like I said, a lot more than I thought that he did. I do think that watching. This is not a plug. I know I talk about it every week, but watching Chuck and Sarah's relationship, there's so many times on Chuck where I'm like, oh, that's so good. And I felt that watching this. I didn't expect that. There were times where Hugh Grant would say something and I'd be like, stop. Like that's how it was. And it was just so sweet. And I did not expect to feel that way because I hate that stuff. So yeah, I think that I would give it an 85. It was a
wow.
Did your friend give a rating?
No.
Well, there you go. 85, pretty good though. That's excellent.
It was a good one.
And the equivalent, the flip side of that would be Adam's score. He says there's nothing terribly offensive in this, just not my bag. 58.
Which I did.
But that's a really good score for a rom-com for Adam. That's pretty good.
Because it was well done.
Yes, it is.
And the only chance that there was capable of something being offensive, she said she's writing a paper with how hotels treat people in wheelchairs. Mm-hmm. So they weren't offensive.
That's very true. So I ended up at an 82. I mean, I think it's really good. It really is. It's charming. I don't know how often I will return to it. But it's like, it's like a glass of chocolate milk. You can't have it all the time.
Right.
But every once in a while, that's just kind of nice. It was very nice. It was kind of a nice Sunday afternoon, kind of like all right. Yeah.
Did Jennifer watch it with you?
Yes, she did, and she enjoyed it as well.
Good.
So yeah, it was quite lovely.
I did crack up a little bit when they climbed over the fence into that garden, and it was a massive park. I mean, they sort of described this little garden, and it was the size of Central Park in there.
Exactly.
Yes, with this little gate.
Yeah, this little locked gate.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, but I've not been to London. Maybe that's very real.
It probably is.
I could.
Yeah.
London real estate's cheap.
Well, so this is going to be entertaining now, because it's time now to talk about what movie we will watch next week.
What movies?
And this is interesting because it's a double feature. So hold on to your hats. So as you know, we're giving everybody a chance to do a double feature before we would bring back people who had already had a chance to choose a double feature, which interestingly enough, by my calculations, leaves me and Adam are the
Right,
only
right.
two. I don't think.
Did
Now,
Jody
is
do a double
that true? Did Wade do a
Yeah,
double?
I did the last double feature.
I don't think I did.
That's right.
Yeah, Cody, no, Wade has not done a double feature. I apologize, Wade.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I know you have chosen a movie,
I
but
might
not,
have a hard time choosing two movies. So
okay, well, we would give you time. We would wait.
We'd even give you help.
options.
We would give you help. You know, I understand your daughter typically has two movies on the
All
back
the
of her
time.
mind.
Yeah, when there's one movie to choose,
Seven.
Reagan always has two. Oh, I'm deciding between two. I can't just.
You know, and there are so many war movies with sequels.
Ooh. Well, he's mentioned The Hunt for Red October many
You
times.
talked about The Accountant, October Sky.
that's right. I did put The Accountant on the wheel. Yeah.
See, so yeah, I think you'll come up with two.
You could have a Ben Affleck double feature.
So we've got three who get to play for our chances this week, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, whoever comes up with, and this will be our last double feature until the next year, because our last random double feature, because next double feature will be two Christmas movies. So we'll see if how we're going to handle that. We might handle that slightly different when it comes for the holiday season. But for now,
it's Pee-wee's Christmas special.
that's right, exactly. So let's do this. Let's find out what we're going to watch next week. Oh, there it is.
Speaking of Wade,
Man,
that's all right. We have time.
Yeah,
Take your time if you need help.
We're
We
only
can certainly
37 minutes in. We got all the time in the world.
Oh, we've got all the time in the world. We absolutely have all the time in the world. In fact, we can talk about what else people have been watching, and then we'll circle back and see if Wade has thought about his two movies. So let's talk about what other programming people have been watching. All right. So has anybody, I've got to start with Only Murders in the Building.
so you finished it?
Oh my goodness. This stop now. Just leave the show now if you haven't watched these. It's so good. I mean, it's good without the ending. I'm not saying the ending is going to blow anybody's.
It did sag a little bit at one or two episodes, but it more than made up for it at the end.
Yes, we had let them stack up. We had watched the first 5, and you're right, it had gotten a little like, it's all right. And then we binged the last 5 just all one night, and just the last few episodes are wonderful.
And how long has it been since you've seen Steve Martin do physical comedy?
Serious, and he's like
he's funny.
in his 70s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's old.
Yeah,
I like
and
it
just
a lot. I'll have to watch it.
awesome, just so good.
Yeah, some really great scenes. That final episode was wonderful. Yeah.
So like it's a great way to entertain yourself. And so I would highly recommend that. I would also highly recommend the Muppets Haunted House.
We have it in our
Imagine I
queue.
just saw that.
I
I didn't watch it. I saw it. I was like, yo, is that new or
It's new and it's an hour, and I mean it's not. I don't think it's going to go down as a classic.
is
But
it just
it's-
the ride? Like, do they just go through the ride or something? Like,
No, it's a story. It's the Muppet story, but there's a lot. They pay a lot of homage to the ride.
right.
It's very. If you're a fan of the ride, there's tons of stuff in it that you'll be like, oh, okay, I get. But it's a cute story.
Is it better than the Haunted Mansion movie?
With Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
I mean, I would say it's got to be at least 5 points better than that. I mean,
He says he doesn't like the Muppets thing either, though.
I mean, if you don't like Gonzo, you're not gonna like.
I love Gonzo.
You're gonna be in heaven. It's so good. It's on Disney Plus. Along with Black Widow, by the way, is now on streaming for everyone on Disney Plus. So, and they have a lovely behind the scenes making of.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's
Tell Kent so he can watch that.
see.
And he'll come out of his room
He's getting obsessed. He's getting in it. He's acting like me now.
over Marvel.
As he should. And they're doing and Disney Plus is doing November 12th. It's Disney Plus Day or something like that. They're trying to have like where it's Shang-Chi is going to be on.
Oh, wow.
World According to Jeff Goldblum season 2.
Oh,
if you've been anxiously waiting for that. But they have tons of things that are supposed to be released and streaming for the first time on Disney Plus on November 12th. They're trying to, I don't know.
What was the show that was hosted by Kristen Bell with the High School Musical cast going back and recreating?
Yes, I never watched that.
Actually, it's up and down because it depends on the musical they're doing. The
Encore. You're right. It's Encore.
But it's very enjoyable.
Yeah. It looked good. I don't watch a lot of reality programming. And when I do, usually Legos are involved.
yes.
I do enjoy Lego Masters. I really do.
I still, and as I've said to you before, Eric, I recommend if you haven't, seek out the British and Australian versions. They're better than the US version.
See, I don't want to do that, but the problem. So I did do that once actually, because after the first season, we were like, "This is great," and so I'm like, "But I want more." So I'm going to I'll watch, one of the versions from another country. But they were doing a lot of the same kinds of builds.
Yeah, they did it first. They just used the same. Yeah.
But after I saw it, it's like, oh well, all right. It's just like, oh yeah, earthquake.
I like Will Arnett. To be honest, he sort of rubs me the wrong way on Lego Masters. He's just trying so hard.
Oh, he is. Definitely.
Wasn't he Lego Batman? Is that why he's?
Yes, that's why. Yep.
Okay.
And because they offered him a check. No,
and his shtick with the evil will and all of that, it just gets really.
Yeah.
See, I enjoy the builds. I enjoy the builders. I don't really enjoy the hosts on the US version.
Yeah.
I understand that. I do understand that. It does get it, but yeah, it's still, it's better than Grease 2. I don't know why. It's better than Somewhere in Time. Dan's not here. I can say whatever I want.
You can say that because Dan's not here.
Eric, did you open the file I sent you of the person? I got a request at the library for that movie a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you did do that. That's right.
And I screenshotted it and sent it to Eric and Dan because somebody else requested it.
Wow.
Yeah, someone with the name I Am Stupid. I don't know why it was.
Yeah, that's really. Well, I think they're trying to burn every copy in existence.
Maybe.
They're trying to do
That's like George Lucas with the Star Wars Christmas holiday special.
That's right, gathering them all up. Dan says Curb Your Enthusiasm season 11 started last night. And it's awesome. I've not watched one episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't know why I decided to go back and watch again the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie from about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
It's like they were trying to make a James Bond movie, but by casting two people with absolutely no charisma in the lead.
Oh.
So, well, it's Armie Hammer, who can be good, but was really stiff in this, and Henry Cavill, who is usually really stiff. So it was really not very good.
Yeah.
That is too bad.
I watched Spike in a movie. What happened?
What'd you say, Reagan?
Oh, I said I watched Spike in another movie before I watched this movie, an hour or so beforehand, because I have to watch one called Shipping News with Judi Dench and Kevin Spacey in it for a psychology class, and Spike was in that one, and so I watched this, and I was like, I know that guy, and I didn't remember why, but I just saw him.
We did watch
the
first. I think it was a double episode, so it was the first 2 episodes of Ghosts, and then we went and watched the first episode of the original British series, and it was again. To be honest, I kind of like the British series better.
Yes. Yep.
And then you watch Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze in Ghost, which ties you back to this movie. Which ties you back to this movie.
That was a cute scene.
Cool to work with.
That was an adorable scene.
So
I don't know.
Sure, he was very nice to Demi Moore, who was in that movie with him.
So Dave, the Ghost, the one that's on network TV now, is that the one you're talking about? And did you like it without seeing the British one?
Yes. I mean, not like, wow, that was great. But like, that was
it looks cute.
You can never, you can never tell with a sitcom, really, or any show, but especially with a sitcom, in 1 or 2 episodes how it's going to go. You know, Seinfeld, Cheers, Newhart, some great sitcoms were not that good even for most of their first season.
Right.
But it was still entertaining. You had sort of like with The Office, because you had some scripts and ideas from the British show to use to sort of prime the pump.
Yeah.
It gave them a bit of a head start than trying to just develop everything from scratch.
Yeah.
And I usually like the British better. We tried to watch the British Office and Reagan was like, whoa.
I was like, goodbye.
Too much for her.
I think we have it too.
The British Office, I love the U.S. Office, and the British one blows it out of the water.
Yeah. And we still mute a lot of pieces because it's just like, oh my gosh, Michael needs to shut up because my head's going to explode. But the other thing Wade and I used to watch that was based on, well, they tried to do it in America and it flopped, was Coupling, which was British first.
Oh, yes, they did try to do that, yes.
And it was the script word for word, almost down to the exact same set with American cast, and it was terrible. And we loved Coupling. We caught it on PBS by accident when we were wrapping Christmas presents for babies who are now grown. And then we got it at the library, and then my boss decided it needed weeded, so it's now in my shelving unit over here.
Wow.
But the British one, it was definitely better, and I didn't realize that Ghosts was British first.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, and sometimes, like I said, The Office. I love the U.S. Office. I think they did a great job with it. They didn't try. The first season of the U.S. Office, they were largely trying to copy the British show, but they quickly went off in their own direction.
Right, which is good.
Which is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think Ricky Gervais just wasn't the right Michael Scott. I don't know if that's his name in there, but that was the thing. Ricky Gervais
David Brent.
was too creepy for me. And
he was.
Steve Carell wasn't somehow.
Yeah.
Well, Carell is sweeter than Ricky Gervais is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you sort of cut him a little more slack.
Yeah.
So he's a little less cringeworthy, but the cringe aspect is what makes Gervais so good in the British Office.
Oh, yeah. I do like Ricky Gervais. I've seen him in a couple other things, but it was just like for that character specifically. I think that's why it took
the other thing that British shows often have going for them is U.S. shows tend to be open-ended, and British shows usually have a planned run.
Yeah.
In fact, that's going to be something that are facing now with Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is planned to be a 3-year run, assuming they were a success, which they didn't think they would be. And so now they're doing the 3rd season, and they're trying to decide, are we going to end this or not?
Right.
So
You're getting so much hype, though. I mean, it's all everybody's talking about anymore.
And Jason Sudeikis
Squid Games, you know.
You know what? They will end it anyway. They do not care. They say, you know what? We said this, and we're going to do it. They did the same thing with Victoria, which I'm like, next season of Victoria, and it never ever came, ever. What? And they ended Poldark.
Yeah, because the British Office ran for 2 seasons plus a Christmas special, and that was it. So it was like 13 total episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we watched all of them.
I didn't.
Oh.
May have. I did.
We had it on DVD.
I don't think so. I think I brought it home from the library, or we watched it on Prime.
I'm rewatching my favorite TV show right now. That's all I'm doing.
Oh,
same.
Which is
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have multiple family members who are obsessed with it.
Huge rewatch. That's like 47 seasons. That was
It's not 4. I think it's 11. No, it's less.
That's a long rewatch, though.
It started off cute, and then I got bored.
And they faced a lot of criticism for their last season.
Yeah,
yes,
they did. It's 9 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that. I would have sworn there was more.
Nope.
They
are in the process of making the How I Met Your Father series.
Yeah,
yes,
I did hear that.
I heard they were doing that.
I'm so hyped for that.
Well, I'll be anxious to hear your review of that.
It'll be a good one.
So I realized I never shared where our movie ended up tonight. Actually, very well done.
Well, 80 was the lowest if you discount Adam.
So Notting Hill at that 81.88, just where it belongs, slightly low.
Wait, it's not in the right spot.
Did I do that wrong? Oh, look at that. I did that wrong.
Wow.
It's in column 2. It's right in the middle of column 2.
How did you do that?
Multitask. I did not do that correctly. And the
I was
question
like,
is,
how did that
what is-
happen?
yeah, no, that didn't
He
happen.
may come from a family of accountants, but he's not an accountant.
Yeah. That's what I guess for trying to do graphics and host. That's why Dan typically takes over while I run the numbers. So no, actually, it's the middle of the second column, slightly above Beetlejuice. It's still not
Good.
terrible. But no, not
Another
quite.
Alec Baldwin movie.
Too many eights and ones, you know. But yes, slightly below 12 Angry Men. It's between 12 Angry Men and Beetlejuice.
That's a good place for it.
That's good. It's it's for
two very good movies that it's surrounded by.
Yes.
See, I do not like Beetlejuice. The only reason I love it is because the first time I watched it was at the drive-in. And so if it's at the drive-in, I'm like, we have to go. Like, that's how I am. But like I never have actually like processed it while watching it because I don't know what's happening.
Because you're too busy talking at the drive-in.
It's a drive-in movie for me. I love it for that reason.
Yeah, I tried to understand
What
it
in the world is
when it came
UHF
out,
doing up there?
and that wasn't happening.
What is UHF is right where it belongs. Hey, you can't, I might not get all the numbers right, but that is correct.
I love Weird Al, but no.
That's funny.
I said UHF was, I think, one of the first, if not the first movie we did.
Very, very early.
So nobody, it was the first movie we did. There was only 4 people rating it.
And I went back and rated it later. When you did your re-rating of the movies that
is correct.
Like me had missed.
That is correct. And so, like I gave it an 85. Dan gave it an 83. Adam gave it a 90.
Wow.
And Dave gave it a 71. So how about that? Adam started strong.
Wow.
Then he got real.
That was real.
He loved Pee-wee's Christmas special. Adam will sometimes just randomly like a movie that you didn't expect.
Yeah, my whole scale is based on UHF.
Wow.
That's my baseline. Is UHF is an 85.
Wait, seriously? You think about that every week?
Huh?
You're like every week you're like,
I go back and I'm like, how does this compare to UHF?
And it was a science fiction movie.
I don't really think that, but I could.
Oh my goodness.
So
tonight I started watching the new CSI because Grissom came back. I found that by accident. CSI Vegas.
Is Scott Bakula?
I've never watched any CSI.
Oh, wow.
See, I used to watch him. I don't know if Wade did. He was probably sleeping. I don't know. Can't remember. It's been a long time. But I used to watch that, and then I watched CSI Miami when Grissom left Vegas. I can't remember. Or we watched both.
There's too many.
There are too many, and I don't watch any of them.
Yeah, between Law and Orders and CSIs, they've really and Chicago movies now. Chicago and everything.
The heck can have their own channel.
Yeah,
I think they do.
Yeah, they probably do.
How goes the contemplation, Wade?
Well, we're sitting here talking about Disney Plus, so I'm thinking it'll be a Disney Plus double feature here.
I forgot that I forgot that you had to pick a movie, and Dave was talking about Disney, and I was like, "Are we going to Disney?" And you're going to tell me here.
Yeah, your mom and I are going to Disney next week. Can you come home and?
I think that's more than fair.
I'll be there. I'll watch you take off.
Let me see. We had a few comments I didn't get to bring up here. Adam says Broadchurch was a good show, both the British and the U.S. And he said Rules of Engagement was a better show. And then Dan said he also started watching Succession on HBO.
Ooh.
Wow, good stuff.
Interesting.
All right, Wade. So you're scrolling through Disney Plus as we go.
He's going to do the computer wore tennis shoes and.
Oh, there you go.
We own that.
There was no airplanes.
But you do the original Freaky Friday and then the Lindsay Lohan Freaking Friday.
There's not an airplane. Well, there isn't. How about the absent-minded professor has a flying car?
Oh, there's so many choices.
That's good.
Did I get this in the right price? Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yep, that's right.
Everybody's happy now. All right.
So, hey, if Black Widow's on there, we'll watch it.
Oh, yes! There we go.
And And we watched
watched
Cruella
it
a couple
yesterday.
weeks ago, and I kind of really liked it, so I'm like, I'll watch it again.
Now, what was the other one?
Cruella.
Cruella.
Oh, I like this.
That was going to be my next double feature. I was going to do 101 Dalmatians and then Cruella.
Yeah.
Got to pick 2 new ones now.
Yeah, you'll have to come up with a new duo. I like this. I like the powerful women movies. I like the female empowerment. Is this what we're doing here? Is it the theme?
It's all kind of like red and black and white. Pretty cool.
Oh, I'm so excited! I'm gonna go do this right now. Stay up all night watching both of these movies. I'm so pumped.
I'm just gonna watch Black Widow every day this week, so I make sure. I
You know, honestly, I
has it grown on you, Eric? Because your evaluation after you saw it in the theaters was not that strong.
It wasn't, and honestly, second watch, which honestly I haven't watched it again. And so this was just my second watch yesterday, and yes.
It's better the second time.
Definitely growing on me, right? And I think by the
get all the nuance and the details that you missed the first time because you're like
they did a lot of
there's a lot, and I do wish it had come out when it was set on the timeline, right? Like I feel like it would have been such a different experience watching it before she dies.
Oh yeah,
I know because you watch it and you're like, she's good, she's fine.
Spoiler,
like,
right? Or you're like, oh, I've seen that vest before, but it's a fuck. I will say Florence Pugh is so amazing in this movie.
You just wait, my Russian accents will start coming out.
She is my background on my computer. Actually, my second.
Nice. I mean, honestly, it's I will strongly encourage you that if you have the time and you have Disney Plus calls it Assembled, and it's their behind the scenes series. The Black Widow Assembled is really good and really goes into the movie making and the discussions about some of the decisions they made, and watching that first and then watching the movie. Cause again, I avoided all spoilers going into Black Widow cause I could go in completely blind. And all I really knew is that she flipped over in a white jumpsuit is like the only scene I had seen before going in the movie. I found actually a little backstory on this really helped a lot. To get into the mindset of why they did certain things the way they did them. And
she was referenced on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really?
There was a joke during Weekend Update about her and Colin Jost.
I'm sure there was. Well, and hopefully she walked away with a really nice payday from making this.
Hopefully, terms not disclosed, but hopefully.
Yes, I would think probably.
She owns Disney now. Surprise.
Well, it's the interesting thing is because the What If series is so good on Disney Plus. It ends really good. I will say it's not all really good, but what's so great is that they got so many of the original actors back to do the voiceover work, but not her. And because
she wasn't alone. Tim Holland wasn't there either, was he?
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, excuse me.
His brother? I think his brother was there.
Yeah, like Jeremy McCulkin,
You know what? That's a good question. I think
Kieran.
I thought he was in that. I thought he was.
I may be mistaken. There were several people that surprisingly weren't.
Yeah.
And
like Chris Evans.
The reason given wasn't because Disney didn't want them back. They just had conflicts.
Right. But it could have. But I question Scarlett Johansson.
Tom Holland could have also been a Sony issue.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Since he's Spider-Man and Sony, all that fun stuff.
But I think, actually, you might be right about Tom Holland because Tom Hiddleston, I think, was in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't. Who knows? But it's But Scarlett Johansson would have been nice to have her. I'm just saying. My heart.
They can go back and redub her later.
And maybe
I want a movie so bad to know what happened in Budapest.
I think you know what happened.
You don't know though. There's so much that you don't know.
Speaking of re-editing, have you guys seen this thing that's been floating around? And it's been floating around for a while now, but this re-edit of Lilo and Stitch. Have you guys seen it?
The pizza box?
Oh my god.
Yeah, the pizza box. Right, hold on, let me bring this up.
Right?
Let me bring this up. Hold on. We won't watch this ad because we don't need ads, because why not? Why should they get extra ads? But we've got we've got this guy talking a little bit. Let me see. Are we gonna get to what we're talking about here? Or are we gonna this is not there it is. There you go. There's the altered. Having Lilo hide in a dryer is probably not what they decided was good for Disney to show little kids. That probably you should not hide in the dryer if you're hiding from your parents. So find a cabinet with the pizza box on it. You can hide in there. That's much safer.
Wow.
I've been in the dryer. I'm not gonna lie.
Same. Me too.
So much. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
You're so much more fluffy now.
My friend, when her kids were younger, her kids are a little older than mine. Her youngest is the same age as Reagan. They were doing laundry and they lost a kitten in the laundry in the dryer.
And that's why I stopped playing in the dryer. Because I heard that story.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
Where's my cat?
Yeah. It was pretty bad. So dryers are bad.
Dryer. That's your takeaway. Dryers are bad.
We don't need them.
You're going to be hanging your wash out in the middle of February in Chippewa?
Speaking of things that are bad, Adam says his baseline is Super Troopers.
Oh,
yes, we know that.
Okay, I
and we know the answer somewhere in time.
His comment on one of your movies is, well, I've already seen Black Widow, so at least that's on the way.
I think if you like 101 Dalmatians, I think Cruella is a good one.
Even if you don't, I mean, I think it was.
It was cool anyway.
I was surprised because I'm thinking, they're just going to play right up to the 101 Dalmatians, and they don't really.
Right.
So, and they got some awesome music transitions when they go into stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's directed by the same guy that did I, Tonya.
We've only watched it once, but I'm very excited to watch that again.
Yeah, it was
excellent choices. That's super.
Oh, that it. I was thinking Space Troopers.
Yeah,
Space Troopers, not Super Troopers.
I had to look up Super Troopers because you guys talk about it all the time, and we never saw it.
You talk about it, and I think about Mamma Mia.
Oh, Stacy.
It is not as bad as Eric thinks it is, nor as good as
no, Stacy, I really have a hard time imagining you getting through this movie.
I won't.
Every time you guys have talked about it, I've pictured Meryl Streep in go-go boots. Okay, that's what I think about because of Mamma Mia.
ABBA.
Wow.
I thought about the whole time. I was like, Adam really likes that movie.
I know Super Troopers is greatness.
Yes, it is.
So we're gonna watch two 2021 movies.
Yeah, that's odd. I have so.
Adam, I think you might like it.
Yeah, I think you might like it.
I think it would probably be about. He'd give it a 60 at least.
Maybe.
I don't know.
55.
Which for Adam is pretty amazing, actually. If he gets somewhere in the 60s, we're doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll have to see. I'm curious how he'll rate it versus Black Widow. Although I don't think he'll watch Black Widow again.
and really, we just picked it for Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Yep. She's cool.
I watched it.
Not the way you're thinking. It's not a musical.
No.
It is in no way a music. They don't start singing.
There's no Dalmatian plantation.
There's one part where they're singing.
Well,
there's like bits of it as like a push to the movie, I guess. Like Dalmatians, but it's not like
it's not a musical.
Roger's not playing the
Grease.
piano and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not Grease. Yeah.
If you've ever seen I, Tonya, it's like that, only Disneyfied.
So we watched two musicals.
The guy directed that.
We watched Grease and we watched
Greatest Showman.
Greatest
Showman.
And I'm very upset that I missed that.
I'm very
upset that I didn't.
Oh man,
Dave, me.
Cody, I gotta tell you, they were harsh on the Greatest Showman. I was so convinced that it was gonna go over like half decently, and like
Reagan brought it down.
Oh yeah,
Reagan.
Lots of people brought that down.
You say that, but
Adam had some moments, but it was not a good movie.
Adam scored that a 35.
That's pretty high.
Kind of related
for a musical.
It's pretty awesome that in Connecticut they have a housing project there that's called P.T. Barnum. So
that's awesome.
HUD housing called P.T. Barnum. Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna start I'm going to start digging out the Christmas wheel so we can start figuring out what's going to be happening in December.
Yeah, what's on it? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, we had a lot. The question is, the question is if I'm going to be able to find it, or I'm going to have to like dig through those episodes and recreate.
We could always just start from scratch again.
Could also start from scratch because I know we did end up just get to the point where people were trying to come up with something.
There's a lot of people who weren't here previously.
No, I agree. I think
people
we
who
can,
used to be here that don't come
scratch.
anymore.
We can start from scratch. I think that's a good idea. Because
that
it did get really cluttered with people who are like, oh, I'll come up with something. And it's like, oh, but then we're losing,
Christmas.
We're losing the really good, the classics that are getting buried with the less than, the Bad Santa. No, I'm sorry. Bad Santa was okay.
Bad Santa was better than I thought it would be.
Yes, I agree with that. Bad Santa 2 was as bad as I thought Bad Santa 1 was going to be. So that did not disappoint, I guess, or it did. I don't know how that works. So excellent. Well, I'm excited. This is man. Yeah, I'm gonna raise Cody and see how many times, which one of us can watch more Black Widow more times between now and next week.
You'll lose. You will lose.
I will lose.
I will watch it in my truck in between while I'm working in between stops.
Oh, that seems grossly unfair.
You can watch it on your way back and forth to work, Eric.
Yeah,
I could.
You could watch it on the viewfinder of a video camera.
It's true. I'm gonna get a pair of Google Glass and I'll watch it just everywhere I go.
Is this actually happening? Like, do I need to prepare?
No, you don't need to prepare. I promise. I will not watch it more than twice. I really won't. So don't watch it 400 times. And here's Adam starting the best conversation already.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's what I said earlier. I was like Christmas Story, Elf, Die Hard, Home Alone. Like that's why I've never seen Die Hard. I just know it's a joke.
The Jew is right.
The Jew is right.
I don't think that's correct. I stand by this totally being a Christmas movie.
I would never.
I love Die Hard
movie because so many people do. Why not?
I've never seen it, so I can't judge. I just know that people talk about it as a Christmas movie, and I just think that it's kind of funny because I don't understand.
Rickman is in it, and
if we don't get Die Hard on a wheel sometime in the near future to make.
I'm happy with putting Die Hard on a wheel, just not a Christmas wheel.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
We get action like every time. Let's go.
I'm with Cody on this one. Oh my goodness! Anybody else have anything they'd like to share before we wrap? And Dan never got over. Dan's still on his call, so Dan never got to join us.
Wow!
Thank you, Cody, for making it to 6 episodes. That's pretty exciting.
Pretty cool. So, Eric, you have to show everybody your pictures that you took on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. I actually saw Stacy in real life. This is really Stacy caught me at work. And we actually got to see each other in real life. Hold on, let me bring that.
First time in since
I know, like actual people, like actually in the same location. What's up?
Since Emma's graduation party in 2019.
What?
Yeah,
not long ago. Look at us.
Yeah.
There we are. Oh,
there's his office and my office.
That's right. Too many things. Look at all that. There we go. Oh yeah, there's Stacy's office.
My office away from the office.
That's right. And I'm wearing a name tag so that I can take your order more efficiently.
Would you like fries with that?
That's right. Exactly.
Eric, I sent Emma and Reagan those pictures, and Emma goes, "I saw you guys." I'm like, "Did you stop?"
Where was she?
She was at school.
Was she just looking out the window?
She was driving past.
Oh, I thought she was looking out the window. I was like, I would have left and been like, "What's up?" Get me out of class.
Or anything. She didn't pull over and say, "Hey, Mom." Nothing.
It's terrible.
She didn't even say, "I saw you."
She I saw you guys when I sent her the picture.
When you sent her the picture, right? Yeah. I would have texted you right away, been like, "Yo,
I know.
I see you."
And am I remembering right, Eric? We don't limit it to Christmas movies; it's holiday movies, right?
That is correct. It is holiday movies. So if you've got a New Year's Eve movie or a Hanukkah movie, a Kwanzaa movie, Groundhog Day. No, we don't go that far. December based holiday movies. How's that? I think we can include Thanksgiving.
Define a holiday.
Or isn't that?
Snowflakes.
So I don't think she was a figment. I think that was pretty real. And Dan says, sorry, he will be on next week's show for sure. And he'll be prepared and gonna have to pull out some Black Widow memorabilia for this episode, I believe. I think I have a thing or two I might be able to pull out.
Maybe.
Or 8.
Or something that smells
buy a vest.
slightly like
Whoa.
what?
It's a candle.
It was a candle.
Mm-hmm.
You missed that. Did you miss all of that? Did
There's
you
a
miss
ring in
the
there.
whole?
Let's say
Do I have to buy another one?
No, you
he
don't.
said, Cody, that he would buy this candle, this Black Widow Scarlett Johansson candle, if 8 people were on the show and I brought in the whole family.
There's that.
Yeah, she kind of blended the rules a bit, I think, in a way. It wasn't
But
what
he
I-
totally went purchase.
and I did.
Oh,
It
okay.
was-
Yeah.
He was a good sport.
I went for, and it was a lovely. Look at that. There is the. This is my Black Widow glasses holder, and a candle that smells like Scarlett Johansson.
I like how it says that. It's not like Scarlett Johansson. It's like, this smells like Scarlett Johansson. Like, that's what that, like, if you did like a radio commercial, that's what it would sound like. This like monotone, like, it smells like Scarlett Johansson.
This is what is this? Oh, what is this candle? Oh, it smells like Scarlett Johansson. Like, yeah, it's not a good thing.
Right.
Does it,
It's
does it-
like,
does it
it's
smell good?
weird.
Does it actually smell good?
It did. It was pleasant. It was vanilla.
Oh.
So I mean,
What do you
take
say?
it or leave it.
Scarlett Johansson.
And there was a ring inside that was worth anywhere from 75 cents to $7,500. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure we got the 75-cent version.
Probably maybe $750.
It was lovely. It was it wasn't a half bad ring. I mean, my wife felt like it was like, it was just obviously fake, right? Like so big that it's like, all right, this is not real. But
Be careful with that, though.
well, yeah.
You definitely check before you say, eh. And
I
somebody
love
finds
that.
it at the
Well, my-
Goodwill. It
That's
gets,
my retirement plan.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of those candles so that eventually I'll get enough of those rings that I can retire.
Oh, my God.
It's good to have a plan.
Yeah.
You got a plan to succeed and succeed to plan. No, I don't think that's it. Awesome. Well, this was fun. And Wade, thank you so much for such awesome choices. I'm totally excited. This should be a lot of fun. Stacy not as excited.
Helicopters in it.
Not in even in Cruella there is, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yep.
there is.
So what?
Helicopters.
Helicopters. What more do you need?
There's definitely
wasn't a
helicopters in
spoiler.
Black Widow.
All I'm doing is like reciting lines in my head from this movie right now.
I really did like the arm wrestling scenes in the gym.
Oh yeah. That whole
Oh,
Red
there's
Dog.
there's a fun fact with that one that I'm not going to mention because it might come up next week.
you're gonna save that for next. Well, there's their teaser.
Okay.
So wild Black Widow facts from everybody. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Monday in November.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Goodbye.